on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked? Well, Rita, I'm absolutely certain that worked on this beautiful Trajectory Tuesday. It's Dr. Evka's Heart of Influence. Let's go, Dr. Evka. Thank you all for being here. We're exploring what we believe to be the only attainable superpower, the ability to cause yes with humans, with integrity. What if that's actually true? Bella, who's here?
And Sean, it's Dr. Evka and Josh Chand, heart-centered change makers in healthcare, Heart of Influence. Whoa.
Heart-centered change makers. What's up, Josh? Dr. Evka, let's rock and roll. Who's
and from Silver Springs, MD. What's MD?
Maryland.
Maryland. I'm drawing a blank on that.
Where my children went to college.
Where your children went to college. Yes, I've been there a couple times. From Silver Springs, Maryland. CEO of a leading company providing language interpretation and transcription services, emphasizing connection at the heart of everything he does, providing various foreign language and sign language services worldwide while maintaining a family atmosphere where people come first. Let's welcome to the Heart of Influence, Avi Siegel.
Hello.
Avi, thank you for being on Dr. Evka and Josh Chan's Heart of Influence, heart-centered impact players in the space of healthcare. And of course, Plato, the Greek philosopher, said, play a game with me for an hour, Avi, and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. So we kick this game off with a headline fun fact. A headline fun fact. A headline is, I went surfing and a shark bit my surfboard. A headline is not 27 years ago, I met this person, right? Like that is not a headline. So thank you for that, Avi. And it should be something adventurous, proud, and surprising. So Avi, please, what is your headline fun fact?
But Sean, I got something to tell you about 25 years ago.
Yes, thank you.
No, you know what? I'll take that headline fun fact and I'm gonna simplify it a little bit, because in all of our lives we are working hard. And so my fun fact is that I will never grow up. Is that deep down inside, no matter what, I will always be a kid. I've got kids of my own, and I will always be on the floor rolling around and just playing. And when I'm not in CEO mode, I'm in probably dad and inner kid mode.
Peter Pan said, the moment that we doubt whether we can fly, we cease to be able to do so forever. So that's what I'm hearing from Avi. Awesome job, brother. Welcome, Bella.
Welcome, Avi, and love your Peter Pan-ness. And next from Eagle, Idaho, CEO of YouTube Lead Machine, an award-winning filmmaker and a globally recognized expert in video creation, YouTube growth, and content strategy, cancer survivor, God lover, and woman who leads with incredible heart. Let's welcome to the show, Marley Jacks.
Hello. Marley, welcome to Dr. Evka and Josh Tan's Heart of Influence. And please, your fun fact, Marley.
My fun fact, well, growing up, my dream was always to make movies, and kind of as a kid was told, no, you're not allowed to do that. Well, when I became an adult, I decided, you know what? Yes, I'm going to. And last year I made a documentary about cancel culture, and it won awards at film festivals and has recently been submitted for an Emmy.
Whoa. If you give us a headline, Marley, what was the headline theme of your movie?
Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. That comes from a non-political statement. I am neither a Democrat nor Republican, but a truth seeker. And amen to that. And thank you, Marley, for doing great work in the world to raise the vibration of the planet. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Marley's got it going on.
Marley's got it going on. Next up from Hillsborough, New Jersey, managing director and co-owner of an at-home healthcare company, leading it with his wife, focusing on dignity, independence, and celebrating life of seniors in surrounding areas, an extensive background in small business investments, operations, and pharmaceutical contracting, applying all he knows to deliver excellence in home care. Let's welcome to the show, Edwin Cruz.
Edwin, thank you for being here today for sure. And please, your fun fact.
Just unmute for us, Edwin.
The elusive unmute
button. The elusive unmute button. Now he's searching. He's got a lot to say while he's on mute, though.
He does. Yeah, I can't read lips because I'm blind, but yes, we can work on that.
I'm sorry about that. I just realized I was muted, but thank you. My fun fact is I was a boxing referee in the amateur boxing feeder system, the Olympic feeder system.
Wow, dude, that's incredible. And what, Edwin, what time period did you do that in?
Oh, I did that from 2005 to about 2010.
Cool. Well, thank you for impacting our Olympic athletes in a beautiful way in the feeder system. Thanks. You ready, Edwin, to have a knockout experience on, do you see what I did there?
I see what you did there.
On Dr. Evka and Josh's Heart of Influence. Are you ready for that?
I am, yes.
Yes, let's go. This is going to be like knocking George Foreman out in the 8th round in the Rumble in the Jungle. Sugar Ray Leonard knocking Tommy Hearns through the ring, through the ropes in the 14th round. That's what we're looking at. Yes.
Wow, great memory. I'm impressed with the references.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Wilfredo Benitez, the day of my blue and gold dinner. Sugar Ray Leonard, terrible Terry Norris, gave him a hard time when he beat Donnie Lalonde for the light heavyweight championship of the world. That was beautiful, and especially in the no moss fight with Roberto Duran. And my dad was a huge fan of Marvin Hagler. And when Sugar Ray Leonard took him to town and beat him, I am very convinced that Sugar Ray Leonard did win that decision. So thank you. Let's go.
What you said. And next up, from Goleta, California, orthopedic family physician specializing in addiction medicine and incredible power inside each of us to steer our own lives. CEO of personal development and guidance company as well, a leader who heals and elevates the human spirit. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Sarah Nasir.
Dr. Sarah, thanks for being here today. And Dr. Sarah, first of all, shall we refer to you as Dr. Sarah, or how shall we refer to you?
Dr. Sarah is fine. And thank you so much, Bella, for that lovely introduction. And so nice to meet you, Sean and Evka. Dr. Evka, thank you so much for the invitation. Before I share my tagline, just wanted to do a quick clarification. I'm not an orthopedic doctor. I'm an osteopathic doctor. And this is a holistic line of medical training and approach where we believe that the body is a unit of mind, body, and spirit. And so health lies in maintaining the balance between all three of these elements, that the body has the ability to heal itself. And as doctors, we help it heal. So thank you for that beautiful mistake, because it allowed me to share a sentence on this wonderful line of medicine I love.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
Dr. Sarah, fully present to it. And Bella does an incredible job. She is dyslexic, so it's an amazing job that she does in actually causing the bios the way that she does. Number one. Number two, we are extremely present to your line of practice and holistic healthcare overall. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
And
these are
what's your
very confusing words as is. If I,
problem.
very common mistake. So thank you for making it. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
And your fun fact.
yeah. So my fun fact, I think I'm going to settle down on I see myself as greatness and progress. And I think that is my life's motto and mission right now. And hopefully one day we'll get to talk about all the other things I like to do and find out about others as well. But I'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Dr. Sarah, very much. And your deep care about health and the body and human spirit. I hear it loudly and clearly. Thank you for that. Bella.
Loudly, clearly, and thank you for that, Dr. Sarah. And next up from Bronx, New York, author, speaker, TV host, nurse, holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, weight loss expert, 40+ years in healthcare, recognized worldwide, leaders in healthcare nominated yearly by the International Nurses Association as top nurse in the Bronx. Also volunteers her time working with kids with development disabilities, driven to help others create a better life. Let's welcome Andra Antoinette.
Thank you very much. It's Annette, Andra Annette. Thank you.
Andra Annette.
Yes, thank you, Andra. Appreciate you being here today and all the impact you're creating with that heart-centered approach to human life, acceleration, and legacy generational change. Please, Andra, what is your fun fact?
You can achieve anything you believe you can. At 15, I was hit by a drunk driver and broke my spine, and they told me I would never walk again. And I believe that you can absolutely heal anything that's going on in your body. So I am on board with Dr. Sarah.
Beautiful. That's awesome, Andra. Appreciate it. And what's the thing that you want to put your mind to? You've been able to walk when they told you couldn't. And what's the mission, vision, purpose that you hold space for that you're committed to achieving?
I could never picture myself beholden to anybody. I'm very independent. My vision is really to change the face of healthcare and give that control back to people. I think that there's a lot of confusing messages around that, and I'd like to help people take back that control over their health.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Andra. And you're ready to have an impactful day today with us together here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Well, thank you, Andra. Appreciate you. Bella.
Next up, one of our co-hosts from Phillipsburg, New Jersey, wound care distributor representing over 20 different product lines, working with doctors to reverse chronic wounds and save limbs, providing a mobile wound service to senior communities and home healthcare agencies, focus on compliance and excellent bedside manner, son of a nurse and a surgeon, applying his background in engineering and business to help healthcare businesses serve and grow. Let's welcome to his show, Mr. Josh Tan.
Josh, welcome. Appreciate you, brother. And please, your fun fact.
For fun, I like to organize wellness retreats, and I have one coming up in mid-July.
Oh, yay.
Super fun.
That is super fun.
And where is that, Josh? Where is it at?
Wyndham, New York.
Oh, amazing.
Not that far.
Near Wyndham Ski Mountain or no?
Yep, right there, right near Wyndham Ski Mountain. We have a beautiful ecosystem merger with some people that have property. It's all coming together lovely. We got a team. It's amazing.
That sounds beautiful, Josh. I would say I would send Sean to your wellness retreat, but I'm not sure if you serve pizza at your wellness retreat.
But Josh, I would bring it, so it'll be all good. I'll bring the pizza and the weight. So.
All right, you got an invitation coming your way, Sean.
So, thank you, Josh. So.
And last but not least, from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, growing up in the projects, helping her mom clean houses, recognize health as an optimal need in life, undergraduate degree in engineering, an MD and PhD with a master's in public health, now 17 years as a physician, writing books that have shifted and changed the entire paradigm and practices in specialties, saving countless lives, serving numerous volunteer projects as well. Let's welcome to her show, Dr. Efka.
Dr. Evka, thank you for bringing your heart, your intention, your inclusivity, and your acceleration to this Heart of Influence today, Dr. Evka. This is a woman who feels the fear and does it anyway for others. And hopefully at some level, taking care of herself too. Amazing woman. Dr. Evka, please, your fun fact.
Thank you so much. So you are all incredible change makers and you're so kind. Like I spent time when it was really hot with Dr. Nasir in the car, talking to her. Marley Jacks, I met her on a webinar and she spent lots of time talking to us even afterwards because her heart was really in it. But the person I have to thank most is Avi, because I grew up in a refugee camp. We escaped communism before we came to this country. And I go back as a physician and I provide house calls to some of the sickest of the sick who can't otherwise provide medical care in underserved areas. And I was in the projects in Newark talking to Avi on the phone when in a McDonald's parking lot, when all of a sudden around me, there started a gang fight.
Whoa.
Wow.
And Avi doesn't know all the details. All he knows is that the phone reception kept coming out, but in the car next to me was the gang fight. And eventually police officers arrived, a sheriff. I have the whole end of it on camera. And there you go. And Avi was so kind to be like, okay, just another day.
Dr. Evka, whoa. As Bella Vrita just said, quoting Bella Vrita, whoa. Endless. And refugee camps, cleaning homes. I mean, just let that land for a second. The inspiration, the resilient human that Dr. Evka is. So thank you for that. And Dr. Evka, shall we do the things?
We shall. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. So I want to introduce our other co-host. This woman seated to my right began her career in influence as an 8-year-old on her parents' front lawn selling crafts. By the age of 19, I haven't heard this much, she generated 7 figures annually in the space of network marketing. That's not easy to do. And at 19, come on. Then at 24, 25, and 26 years old, she was three-peating like Michael Jordan, winning a championship 3 straight years. But instead of basketball and business brokerage, a male-dominated industry. And at 24, she was the first woman ever to be the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. And she was the youngest person, male or female, ever to do it. She began to train entrepreneurs and Fortune 500 companies. And in fact, in 2019, every sales team that she worked with doubled their sales. Skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions. In fact, she's also a published author and raised more than $10 million for charities over the past 2.5 years with the Unblinded team as a philanthropist. And in 2023, this resilient, courageous woman not only battled but defeated cancer. Let's welcome to our show in her more than 800th episode, the one, the only, Bella Vrita. Bella Vrita, please, your fun facts.
Well, I was going to go with the fun fact that on August 23rd, I'll be celebrating a year cancer-free. But I'm going to piggyback off Dr. Evka's fun fact and let you all know that one time Sean took me on a date in Elizabeth, New Jersey, to a pizza joint where it was filled with all kinds of gang members inside. So I'm going to go with that fun fact as my fun fact for today. Thank you, Dr. Evka.
Yeah, somebody had guns in holsters with bullets, like something out of an old Western, strapped across the body and many other fascinating things.
Yes. And he thought that'd be a good place to take me on a date. What do you think, Dr. Evka?
She's like, I go there all the time.
Been there many times. That is my stopping.
Level 5 listening is sharp.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Evka.
Yes, wonderful.
That is awesome.
Just wants to show you how the rest of the world lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go.
And let me introduce my co-host, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Becky at body surfing competitions. He is only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. And in fact, the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys, probably because he's one of the #1 attorneys in the country for medical revenue recovery, helping doctors recover over $500 million from insurance providers. And when he's not busy doing that, he's speaking on stages. He's spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins, soon to be MasterCard. And he's incredible for $10 million through the art of sustainable giving for refugees in Ukraine. Let me welcome my co-host, Mr. Sean Callagy.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I'm going to go with this as a fun fact for today. Yes, I'm a blind man. I can't see anything in front of me. I am blind. I have retinitis pigmentosa. I have a little teeny bit of peripheral vision, and I've taught sighted people to ski, surf, and scuba dive. And today, as we're in Long Beach Island, and we've been doing a lot of surfing the last few days, today with international best-selling author and arguably the #1 relationship coach in the world, Armstrong, who is at our beach home with her amazing significant other to talk about ecosystem merging. Allison may or may not island with a family of 4 watching in her underwear today. That may have happened since she may not have had her bathing suit with her, but wanted to experience, LBI and its waves.
There you
So that was my
go.
fun fact. I didn't say it happened. I said it may have happened. So there's my fun fact.
May have
today.
happened.
Yes. Bella, who's going first?
Let's kick this off with the man that's never growing up and have some fun with Avi.
Avi, gang fights happening while you're on the phone, international best-selling authors jumping in their underwear. Avi definitely may not have known what he's getting himself into today, but Avi, what this is really about is how we cause yes. Because everything happens after yes. Diseases are cured, wars end, nations are overthrown, democracy is created, like in the United States and 248 years ago. Everything happens after yes, it's sequencing and it's compiling. So we explore, what does that look like? Because we are absolutely certain that it's not genetic, it is not natural charisma, there's a science that looks like magic to how people cause yes. So Avi, Bella's going to be anybody you want her to be, that you're going from hello to yes with in 3 minutes. She could be an ideal patient, client. She could be a charitable fundraising partner. Heck, she could be somebody famous like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, whomever. Avi, that you want to be creating a yes with. It doesn't have to be a sale. This is not Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room meets Shark Tank. No, no, no. What does it look like when heart-centered, sophisticated human beings come together to create yes when yes should happen? So Avi, please, who would you like Bella Vrita to be that you're going from hello to yes with? Footnote, it could just be a yes to have a future longer conversation. Avi, please.
Sure. Love that. Bella, I would love for you to be Bob Iger from Disney.
Oh.
And Bob Iger is the
CEO of Disney.
Okay.
Let's take it in. The CEO of Disney.
Hello, Chief Mouse here. How can I help you?
Chief Mouse. I love that. Bob, I've been following you for a really long time, and your trajectory and what you've done at Disney is something similar that I attain in my lifetime. I feel like my life's work has been in business. I've been in business since birth, basically. It's run in my bloodline. And what I would love to do is just to be able to take a day to follow you around and learn just so much from you one day in your shoes.
That is an interesting offer. And so Avi, like, why should I do this? And what are you gonna do for Disney? Like, how can this be a win-win situation? Because I'm sure every human in America would like to follow Mr. Disney around, but we can't obviously grant that to everyone. So why should we grant it to you?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. So I started the conversation as something that a request from me, but I think what we really should do is think about how we can help each other and what I can do to provide value for you in your life. And so I would love to tell you, maybe find out a little bit more about some of the things that you go through on your day-to-day. And then we can figure out if maybe there's some value that I can add to you.
Sounds very interesting. So, Avi, you know, we are starting a nonprofit that helps kids that can't afford coming to Disney to come to Disney. So, would you be willing to make maybe a $10,000 donation to this charity to come follow us around for a day?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, maybe we can have a longer conversation about that. Great job, Avi.
Yes, awesome job, Avi. Love the role play, love the intention behind it. We'll get to the feedbackers in a moment, Avi and all. Who's following up, Avi?
Miss Marley Jacks.
Marley, please. Who would you like Bella Rita to be?
Gosh, I mean, as soon as you said that, I was like, I'm obsessed with this. I love his book. And then I grabbed the other books so that the ones that I study all the time. I love these entrepreneurs. So and I don't know if people will know him from his name, but you might, if I start telling you stories, is a man named Michael Ovitz. And he was a super agent in Hollywood. He is really responsible for so many of the movies and careers that we see in Hollywood today.
All right, Michael Ovitz, take us in.
Michael Ovitz. I like being a secret agent.
Secret agent. I mean, he's a super agent. All right, time's going. Michael Ovitz, I am an incredible fan of your career. I have studied your career and how you have built the careers of many Americans and many Hollywood stars that we watch today and celebrate today. And as a result, these stories that have really built America. I grew up in Canada and I used to print off the American national anthem, put it on my wall and learn it with the dream that maybe one day I would move to America and be closer to Hollywood where all this magic is made that you made. And I would like to be a part of making some of that magic with you. I have an idea for a show that I want to create all about your story of the person, the secret orchestrator that pulls all these strings in Hollywood that's made these incredible stories happen.
Well, I am incredibly flattered, Marley, incredibly flattered you've been following. And what inspires you to make this movie and what do you need from us?
I think there's already a very natural and incredible fascination with Hollywood and the stories of who are the secret people that really hold the power that makes these big moves happen. What I would like from you is your stories, obviously the permission to create your story on a global scale, and to be able to get those behind the scenes stories, because I imagine this show to be something that is based on truth, but also depicts stories from real life. So the same way that Netflix, that show, The Crown, is a huge show we love to follow because the natural fascination with the royal family. I think people have a natural fascination with a lot of the stars that they've grown up seeing on television, including the stars that you've put there.
Yes. Well, I am very fascinated. I mean, who wouldn't want a movie made about them? So let's sit down, have a little bit of a longer conversation, see, I'm sure there's going to be some funding and things that need to happen to put it all in place. So let's sit down, have a little bit of a longer conversation and see where we go from here.
Yes.
Awesome. Great job, Marley. Great job, Avi. And next we get to go to great job, Marley.
Yes, great job, Marley.
Yes. Next up is the feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. This is the time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. And so it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Avi or Marley, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then a little next step scoring system. So is the next step with Marley or Avi, you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have to have another painful conversation with Avi or Marley? I don't think either one of them were that bad today, Dr. Evka. You chose some great people. But maybe the next step is a meeting at Starbucks. You're going to buy them a little mocha chocolate latte or a matcha tea latte or something. Or you really want to spend some time with them and you're going to rent a private room at the Capitol Grill, and you're going to order the seafood tower and the nice juicy steak. Unless you're a vegan, of course, maybe you're having salad and French fries, but you're not going to skip dessert and coffee because you want to spend as much time with them as possible. But maybe that's not even enough time, and you want to spend the most amount of time possible. So you would be willing to rent a private jet, of course, up and pick up Dr. Evka and Josh, and fly anywhere in the world with Marley or Avi just to have the longest meeting possible. So let's kick this off with Dr. Sarah. And Dr. Sarah, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Avi? And just unmute for us, please.
Yeah. So I think, Avi, you were very efficient, very focused. You knew what the magic things to say, like when you're asking Bella, or Bella was asking you if you would be willing to donate $10 million. I would have like paused and be like, where am I going to get that money from? But you just knew the worth of it. The return of investment for you was going to be significant. So you were ready to go all in. In regards to the other side feedback of things that could be better, I don't know either of these individuals that Bella pretended to be. So being on the sideline, I was a little
what would be the next step with Avi?
Can you clarify?
Like,
yeah, would you have a cup of coffee, a seafood tower? Would you get on a private jet? Like, how much resonance was there? What would that next step be? Cup of coffee, private room dinner, or a private jet?
With me or with the person that he was?
If you were in that role as the other person, what would your pull have been?
Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that. I would love to meet for that tower of food.
Tower of food.
Dr. Sarah, what would be in that tower of food? Would you be like the lobster, the seafood? Would be a steak? Like, what would be the pull for you?
Halal meat. That would be the pull for me.
There you go. Let's go, Dr. Sarah. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Sarah. Let's go, Edwin, if you'd like to unmute for us and give us your 30 seconds of feedback for Marley.
Was that for me?
That was for you.
Okay. For Marley, I like the fact that you picked someone who's very prominent in your hobby or your passion, and you're confronting them because you have a common interest. And I'm sure that Michael Ovitz has a lot of people who come to him with similar stories, but you have a phenomenal background story and he needs to hear it. So good job. A good next step would be to offer him a sample of your work, just a snippet, a teaser, and get him even more interested.
Love it.
Awesome. Edwin, what comes next?
I'm sorry, what comes next? Can you clarify
Cup of coffee,
Give me a seafood tower.
Oh,
yeah.
Marley is clear.
I would say the arrogant Hollywood types would probably prefer a meal. Although I don't know if he'd want to get messy with the seafood tower. I'm going to say the seafood tower. There you go, Mom.
Thank you.
The arrogant Hollywood types. That is an interesting phraseology.
Well, what I mean is they're essentially untouchable to a lot of us common folk. That's what I mean.
Who are they? I didn't know that they existed, Edwin.
I'm talking about Michael Ovitz and his cohorts. She could have said someone else. She could have said any number of.
I'm fascinated. Do you know him?
Do I know Michael Ovitz? I've heard of him. I don't know.
How do you know that he's not more generous than you?
I don't know that.
Yes, but he's called him an arrogant Hollywood type. This show is about having fun.
I was quoting a stereotype.
Yes, quoting a stereotype. But are you a stereotype? What stereotype do you fall into? Judgmental?
Well, I am not a stereotype.
Right. But how do you know? Because maybe to me,
I'm different. I prove myself to be different.
And Michael Ovitz is proved to be an incredibly generous human, creating generational impact. And
yeah,
magic.
so I don't know that about him. You're right.
No. And Edwin, here's my point. And I'm teasing and having a bit of fun.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But we'll appreciate it. I teach on diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging at some of the biggest companies in the world. So I am a DEI-B teacher, and one of the greatest things I do is I take the DEI crowd and say, are you really inclusive? Are you really not judgmental? Or do you only think that the people in the DEI crowd are correct and everyone else is a they? And I do this in absolute fun and love. We laugh, we have things. It's like, it's a profound experience. You're an awesome human. I have no doubt. I could feel the desire for positive impact coming from your heart and soul. And I'm also a political science undergraduate at Columbia University. And what I teach is about unity as opposed to theyness. And unity comes from the fact, like, what if there's just no they? And that's the monster in the closet taught by the most insidious root causes that destroy diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. And this is why I got the highest scores of any speaker they ever had in that area of Disney with the executives. And I share that for everybody's benefit as like a what if moment. Is that okay? And can you receive that, Edwin, as a possibility?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for that.
very
And I
impactful.
appreciate the ability to have a conversation, because that's scary for me too, right? Like, to even go into that space, because people can feel offended, and it's never about that. It's like, hey, like, what if? That's all. And thank you for that, Edwin and Bella.
Beautiful job. Great
Well,
articulation.
Michael Ovitz wasn't in the room, so I felt at liberty to say that.
Yes. And as soon as you leave the room, we're going to talk about you too.
No.
I'm teasing you. I'm teasing. Listen, I do this all day for a living, countless times
Sure.
in all sorts of different environments. So in truth, I do it in prisons, with homeless people, and with billionaires, best-selling authors, professional athletes, and everywhere in between, to have these conversations of like, what does it really look like to be non-judgmental and heart-centered? How difficult that is. And it is a conversation. We just spent 24 hours with one of the most influential people in relationship dynamics. So I'm like fresh off like the most powerful conversations about how we come together and create relationship and how we cause things. So thank you for that, Edwin. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And let's go. Andra, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Avi?
Okay, well, I first want to say I think they both did an excellent job. I thought he was very intentional. He was very focused on someone he aspired to, and meeting them and seeing how it could benefit him in the long run, all the years of marketing that he's been in business. So I think he did a great job of knowing exactly what to say, and that he really didn't pause at that 10,000 mark, because he was willing to go the extra yard to really have a better outcome and get that chance at the meeting. So he was willing to go all out for that meeting. So if I were the gentleman, I probably would have given him that seafood tower. I would have given him the call.
Nice.
Well, and what will be in the seafood tower, Andra? Like, what's your seafood tower top item?
I love seafood, so I'd be eating soup at the pesh. He could have whatever he wants.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Andra? Bella.
Mr. Josh Tan, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Marley?
Marley, you were so passionate about Michael Ovitz. Like, I could tell you study him, you idolize him. He's a role model for you, and it was just coming through in everything you said. So that was amazing. He does probably get a lot of stories, so I would ask him, like, positive feedback or something you could do better. What's one story you wish you could tell about yourself that you haven't told yet?
Great feedback.
Great job, Josh. Yeah, and what comes next, Josh?
Marley, where do you live?
Boise, Idaho.
So we're fueling up the private jet. Let's go to Boise.
Let's go.
We're going to Boise on the PJ. Let's
Going
go.
to Boise.
Yes. Please, Dr. Evka. Oh, I took your job. Yes, over to you.
Yes.
Forgive
Icy
me.
over there. Dr. Evka, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Avi?
Avi, you are incredible. You are not afraid to talk to anyone with your heart. That this, like, even Walt Disney Company executives, because you know your value and you know what you bring, and you know that you're coming from them because you're trying to make good in the world. You're trying to make an impact in the world. And that's how it comes across. You're having a conversation with everybody, and you treat them like you always do with everybody. You treat them as family.
And so what's the next step with Avi, Dr. Evka?
You know what's coming.
I do know what's coming.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get like a perpetual time machine here, a perpetual time machine, so that we can do this a million times over and over again. We are going on an airplane. We are picking up Avi. We are picking up Marley Jax. Their two are gonna have a conversation privately with me first, and then we're gonna pick up Sarah Nasir, Edwin Cruz, Andrea Annette, Josh Dan, Sean, and Bella. And we're going to go wherever you want in the entire universe because this is a perpetual machine that can do that. I'm just sorry for I'm blinded at the heart of influence because we'll be gone. We'll be in this machine.
I love
Can we go on the Peter Pan ride at Disney with Avi?
Oh, yay.
Avi, you up for Peter Pan?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, Dr. Evka, you know what time it is. This is the time for a little mischief between you and Bella to put me on the hot seat of sorts, although I am no Captain Hook, so please don't treat me like one. And Dr. Evka, I have a feeling that she has a scenario.
She has a scenario. So Dr. Evka,
What do you
take it
got?
away.
Of course, I have a scenario. Yes, that's inclusive because the fact that you came on the show means so much to me. You're incredible people. You're change makers. And so Josh Tan overheard a conversation between Andra Annette and Edwin Cruz and Dr. Nasir that you can achieve anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. You can. And what each of you wants to achieve is the betterment of society and leaving the world a better place than when you first went into it. That's my feeling about all of you. So you have a conversation. Dr. Nasir, we talk a little bit about elder care. Dr. Nasir wants to provide medical care to everybody. Dr. Avi wants to provide the translation in case people who are older can't converse in English. And you all get together and you meet up with a guy who you want to be your founder for this healthcare revolution that you're trying to put in the elder care space. And that he believes that the elder care industry should be profit-based and not focus on the well-being of seniors. It should be profit-based. And Marley's like, no, I can make it so much better about all these other things. But all of you are now trying to convince this guy, trying to convince Sean that because I'll have Sean as Scrooge, you're trying to convince him that he should think about people first. And Sean says no. So I'm going to have Andra, you're going to be this kind-hearted person who's going to be representing all of us, saying that this guy needs to give us money so that we can make elder care better. And Sean will be trying to convince us that no, elder care should be profit-based instead.
You got that?
So listen to it.
So I should start talking to him?
Yes, and try to convince him that you should think about the person way before you think about the money.
Right. So
Okay.
am I playing Andra, then Dr. Evka, and then she Sean? Because right, I'm going from hello to yes with somebody, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna be a prophet first, Sean.
Okay. And I'm trying to convince Andra that that's a good idea, right?
And it's not, but yes, you're gonna try to convince her that it is.
Okay. So hi, Andra. Is Andra available?
I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, Andra. It's Sean Callaghy. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. It's still a good time for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for taking the call. I know Dr. Evka connected us. And if I can ask, what prompted you to say yes to this conversation? I'm very grateful, but what was the prompt that had you say yes?
Well, I think you can help my cause in a very realistic way. And I think that you're just the person to do it. I've heard you speak on several stages, and I think that you can achieve really anything you put your mind to. And I am very dedicated to my mission.
Beautiful. And if I may ask, I think I have a concept. what mission is that you're dedicated to? Like, what's the why? I know it's healthcare related, but what's the why and what's the how?
I think elder care has really gone to the dogs in this country. These are the people that raised us, our parents, and I believe they deserve a better quality life and that they shouldn't have to worry about taking medication or eating, and that's really where they are in society. So I'd like to allot a lot more money in that area instead of worrying about whether or not they have enough in their social security to really live the rest of their lives and have them really focus on enjoying the end of their life. So I was wondering if you would help me in maybe raising some funds or investing some yourself.
Sure. And so thank you. Appreciate that. My I'd love to learn a little bit more. So how would you in theory make the system better? Because if I could share a couple of quick thoughts, I believe that people should receive the highest degree of care and love and empathy in all healthcare related services. I believe that unequivocally. I think for me, what gets conflated for people a bunch is the notion that through a not-for-profit system, like the for-profit system has all kinds of problems, has massive issues of fraud, it has, give the least amount of value and creates the highest degree of profit. Like all that's true, but in a for-profit model, there's competition. And at the end of the day, the arc, as Martin Luther King said, the arc of justice can be a long one, but in capitalist structure, the people that provide bad services go out of business. I have dear friends in Canada. In fact, I have people that are quasi-family members in Canada. And recently, one of them had a heart problem. And they went to the emergency room. And this is a not-for-profit socialistic system. And it could have been a heart attack. And they couldn't see a doctor for 12 hours in the emergency room. And they went home, potentially having had a heart attack because they were just too exhausted and falling asleep in their seat. So I'm not quite sure what all the solutions are, but when I hear raise money, I like that. When I hear elements of the private sector and the government partnering in a new and different way, I like that. What I don't like is rampant capitalism unchecked. And what I don't like is governmental control unchecked, because I think both lead to disasters. So is there any resonance there? Because if there is, I'd love to get together and have a longer conversation. But how is what I'm sharing resonate with you or not?
It resonates on a very deep level. I think there's corruption through and through. And I think it's become more about them than the people they serve. And I'd like to really see the people that we're serving really get that help. So maybe, I know that if healthcare was free in this country, people would be healthier. But because it has become big business, it has also become sick care. So I feel that if we could draw attention and raise money and really take it out of those hands, the government hands, and really put it back in the people's hands and raise initiatives and maybe have a lot more people in the private sector working close with these people, that they'd be better off. So yes, it aligns with me very well, what you said, and I'd love to have that conversation.
Awesome. So maybe we can round up Dr. Evka and all these extraordinary people. We have a longer conversation and we could, in a heart-centered way, lovingly pursue the relevant truth and find ways to begin to make things better. So how does that sound, Dr. Andra? That will get that meeting set up.
I would definitely want that meeting.
Let's go. Thank you, Dr. Andra. At a roll, Dr. Andra, thank you. Your heart is present, or Andra, thank you. Your heart is present. Appreciate you. And Andra, overall, how did you appreciate that conversation we just had? And Dr. Evka and Josh's Heart of Influence overall, how was your experience today, please?
I think it was great because we got to talk about real things in a fun way. We did get to spend time with people we probably wouldn't ordinarily. So we're building community, and anything in life is really about building community and forming those genuine connections, because that's how we help each other and we lift each other up. So I really enjoyed it. I loved the conversation that you and I just had because it's something that's very dear to my heart. I did work geriatrics for a long time. So thank you, Dr. Ava. Yes, it was great. I really enjoyed the time here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Andra. Beautiful job today. Let's go, Marley. Thanks for jumping in the participant seat. Super cool scenario. Wonderful job. Of course, not easy to be in that participant seat, and you did it courageously and masterfully. Marley, please, how was your time today on Dr. Evka and Josh's Heart of Influence?
This was great. It was so fun to do something in a unique way, a rare way of getting people together in an afternoon and talking about what we're all passionate about. And I can really feel that from all of you. So thanks for having me here.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you, Marley, very much. Edwin, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your heart, conversation we had. And Edwin, how was your experience overall on the Heart of Influence?
Well, I am very, how would I say, I was very drawn to the subject because of the heart of influence. You don't, when people lead with their hearts, everyone in the room wants you to check your heart at the door. And because no one wants to be influenced in that way through the heartstrings necessarily in business is really what I'm talking about. But I'm fascinated with the possibility of influencing more with leading with your heart. I'm a faith-based person, so Jesus taught us you have to lead with your heart. He taught us servant leadership. And I think this goes along with that theme. It's a passionate theme of mine. So I'm thrilled to have been part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Edwin. And we share the same faith, although I completely respect everybody's belief structures. And I am perfectly imperfect in pursuing let he who is without sin cast the first stone, and seeking to live as judgment-free as possible as we assess behavior, right? I mean, some people got to go to prison, they commit crimes, and then dangerous, right? But how do we create that connection that way? And I will share this as a final, I have an extremely profoundly, virtually unparalleled track record in diverse environments and creating yeses. That's just true, right? On the biggest personal development stages, philanthropic stages, and in federal courtrooms. And once we had a judge who is as fine a federal judge that exists in this country, Judge Campbell, in our top 100 national jury verdict that I was lead counsel on and examined 85% of all witnesses, opening closing arguments. In that case, Judge Campbell said there's no emotion in my courtroom. It was literally a court rule, no emotion in the courtroom. And in the end, Judge Campbell's heart was pulled to justice, equity, and truth. And when the jury verdict came back in a case that nobody thought we could possibly win, we had a $27 million jury verdict that Judge Campbell elected to read himself as he glared at the other side for all their lies and deceptions, fully demonstrating the proof point that every one of us is driven by emotion and we justify it logically. That's my belief. You can believe what you choose. Edwin, thank you for being here today and for sharing your heart and your faith. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sean.
And last but not least, the one that that keeps the child alive in all of us today, Avi, thank you for kicking us off into the participant seat. Thank you for your childlike spirit. And how was your time with us on Josh and Dr. Evka's Heart of Influence?
This was amazing. I had a blast, loved the fun we put into it. Didn't quite know what to expect coming in, I won't lie, but it did not disappoint. Love being able to meet people and find synergies. We do a lot of work in the medical field. We have a lot of contacts with disability offices from all of our clients, providing interpreting and readers for the blind. So I think that there's just a lot of common ground here, and I'm excited to continue conversations.
Thank you, Avi. I appreciate that. And certainly as a blind man, received and not only as a blind man, but the grandson of a blind man, and about 15 people in my family that I know of. I mean, obviously it's generational, are blind. So thank you.
Yes. And as my co-host reminded me, because he is blind, but he has an incredible memory, and did not want to make sure that Dr. Sarah did not get to share, did not get to leave without sharing her experience. So Dr. Sarah, how was your time with us on Josh and Dr. Evka's Heart of Influence?
It was interesting. It was interesting to see what everybody's focus and missions in life are. And it was interesting to see how everybody conversed.
Thank you for that, Dr. Sarah. And Dr. Sarah, if you can create any yes in the world, a singular yes with any human, not like, oh, we'd end all wars, right? But if you could have one yes with any human that you would create, what would that yes be?
That's a really hard question. It would be to have them the courage to say yes to their purpose and to themselves.
Let's go. Thank you, Dr. Sarah. Beautiful. Josh, thanks for co-creating today. And your final, Josh. Great job.
It's been an amazing day with everyone. You guys are fantastic, heart-centered leaders. Dr. Evka, thanks for putting us together as well. Sean and Bella, amazing job. I look forward to hearing back from everyone and hearing all the beautiful work you're doing in the world. And I hope you found this 10 times more valuable than you expected.
At least better than a cup of coffee. Yes.
Most definitely.
So thank you for that, Josh, for sure. And Dr. Evka, you're a cause in the matter of this. Thank you for making this possible. And your final today, Dr. Evka.
You are healthcare change makers, and you have the biggest hearts and lead a life of purpose, which is beautiful. Where should I start? Dr. Sarah and her beliefs in addiction medicine and empowering everybody to their fullest potential. Avi with healthcare and trying to change the way that we communicate with our patients, both using spoken word as well as sign language, and the beautiful way your company does it. Marley, Jax, like nobody else would know about us if it wasn't for your for what you do. You have brought people that nobody knew about who had the biggest hearts and wanted to make the biggest changes in the world, and you put them onto the stage where now they're known and they're able to have that much greater impact. Thank you, Marley. Josh Tan, you have a wound care company that provides wound care in a way that hasn't been provided in the past to really help patients and provide them with like if you have a wound, you can't function depending upon the degree of your wound. And look at what you do to bring wound care to a new place to help to revolutionize it with what you do. And Dr. Andrea, I've written books about this. There's such a connection between the gut and the brain. And your platform is so much about holistically taking care of everybody and being a nurse and caring for others and helping to make sure that they reach their optimal health. And Edwin Cruz, look at you. You are there to help people who are older. And sometimes people who are older get forgotten and they don't get the support they need. And you provide them with support and care and dignity and love in their older ages. And you do it in a heart-centered way. Bella, you are a cancer survivor and you survived cancer. And not only did it by yourself, but you did it publicly and you did it to such a degree that you are now an inspiration to the people I talk to. And of course, Sean, what can I even say about you? You are incredible. You have such a big heart for all these philanthropic causes, which mean so much to me, including Ukraine and the efforts going on there where there's hospitals have been shot down, as well as what you're doing for people who are blind. Like, I am surrounded by healthcare revolutionizers. How lucky am I?
Well, thank you, Dr. Evka. I appreciate that from everybody. being here today. And in final, we have 3 gifts, thanks to Dr. Evka and Josh. First, we have tomorrow night, our American Dream virtual webinar. And dreams don't just have to be about money that you're earning, it could be about money that you're raising and giving. Tomorrow night, we are a stand for people really grounding and setting their intention for the second half of the year. We have our group influence book, like what's the dynamic of how human beings create yes and attain that superpower. And we've been told that that book is second to none by many. And third, we have a business acceleration session, or you can call it a mission acceleration session, available for everybody here. And for everybody, and on behalf of Bella, I know we're at time. I would say this in final. My work in the world is take integrous, heart-centered people and give them the skill sets they need to actually effectuate their missions. We have the greatest hope, the greatest intention of doing great things in the world, but if we don't have the superpower of causing yes, we don't know where to point it at, and emotionally we can't deal with our own fears, like Dr. Evka is in putting this show together, then nothing ever happens. That's a fact. And Haight-Ashbury, 1967, the summer of love, everybody wanted love and peace and beautiful things. I think that's a wonderful thing. It devolved into chaos and filth within 4 days. 4 days, nothing happened. 0. Because nobody had the skills and the leadership to cause something filled with the beautiful intention of creating something better. That's my work as a stand for heart and math. Math without heart leads to destruction and oppression. Heart without math leads to chaos and nothingness. When you put the two together, we then, I believe, can actually make the world a greater place. We end every show by saying this: I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities for acceleration that are right there in front of all of us. At some level, they're right there. But at some level, all of us, Bella, Dr. Evka, Josh, we're all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.